Every day, independent operators and lean startups face a frustrating technological ceiling. The promise of artificial intelligence is everywhere, yet the reality of integrating it into daily operations often feels blocked by a massive paywall. Founders are forced to choose between falling behind their well-funded competitors or draining their limited capital on premium software subscriptions. This operational bottleneck creates a critical vulnerability for those trying to scale with limited resources. Resolving this tension requires a rigorous, unbiased comparison of the two primary paths available to the modern market. On one side stand polished, heavily marketed enterprise solutions designed for frictionless adoption. On the other side lies the rapidly expanding frontier of open-source AI, offering immense power without the recurring licensing fees. Determining which ecosystem truly serves the pragmatic needs of lean organizations demands looking past the marketing hype to evaluate real-world performance. To establish a baseline for this evaluation, we must define the core technology driving this shift. At the center is the LLM, or Large Language Model, complex algorithm trained on vast datasets to understand and generate human-like text. This is the engine powering generative AI, a broader category of systems capable of creating original content, from written reports to complex imagery, based on specific user instructions. Commercial software platforms package these complex engines into highly accessible turnkey products. The appeal here is immediate utility. A user can log in, type a request into a clean interface, and receive a highly polished output seconds later. The vendor handles all the underlying infrastructure, server maintenance, and model updates, allowing teams to focus entirely on applying the generated content to their workflows rather than managing the technology itself. However, that convenience commands a premium that compounds rapidly as usage scales. What begins as a manageable monthly subscription per seat can quickly balloon into thousands of dollars annually when deployed across an entire staff. Furthermore, these paid tiers often impose strict token limits, capping the volume of data you can process and effectively penalizing heavy integrated usage. This creates an environment of vendor lock-in, where scaling operations means exponentially scaling software costs. The counter-movement to this subscription fatigue is the thriving open-source community. Platforms like Hugging Face have emerged as the central hubs for this movement, operating as massive repositories where developers share highly capable models for free. Instead of renting access to a proprietary black box, businesses can download the actual weights and architecture of the models, gaining total ownership over the tool and how it functions within their specific environment. Within this ecosystem, certain models have proven themselves as legitimate challengers to commercial dominance. Llama2 offers robust text generation and reasoning capabilities that rival many paid services, while Stable Diffusion has revolutionized the creation of highly detailed, customizable imagery. These are not experimental toys. They are enterprise-grade architectures released to the public, providing the foundation for serious commercial applications without the associated licensing fees. Transitioning these free architectures from a Hugging Face repository into a functional business workflow requires a deliberate deployment strategy. Because you are not accessing a cloud-based interface, you must provide the computational power to run the software. This means either investing in local hardware with powerful graphics processing units or renting raw server space from a cloud provider. The model must be downloaded, configured, and integrated into a custom internal dashboard. This deployment phase immediately exposes the primary barrier to entry, the absolute necessity of technical expertise. When you adopt open-source software, you effectively become your own IT support and infrastructure manager. If a model crashes, if the output degrades, or if an update breaks your integration, there's no customer service hotline to call. The burden of troubleshooting, optimization, and system maintenance falls entirely on your internal team. When we compare the raw output quality between these two paradigms, the nuances become highly apparent. Enterprise models are heavily fine-tuned by their creators to be universally helpful, polite, and immediately coherent, making them ideal for client-facing communications or rapid drafting. Open-source models out of the box can sometimes feel raw or unguided, requiring more precise instructions to yield the same level of conversational polish and structural accuracy. Bridging this gap relies heavily on mastering prompt engineering, the strategic practice of structuring inputs and constraints to guide an AI toward a highly specific, accurate output. A skilled operator can use advanced prompting techniques to make a free model perform just as well as a premium counterpart. The difference is that commercial platforms often do this formatting quietly in the background, whereas open source requires the user to explicitly define the operational parameters. Consider the workflow of an independent marketing firm tasked with generating hundreds of ad variations and blog posts weekly. Initially, this firm might rely on premium subscriptions for every copywriter, resulting in a massive monthly overhead just to access the necessary generation tools. The financial drain of this setup often forces leadership to limit the number of licenses, creating artificial bottlenecks where team members have to share access to the core technology by migrating that specific workload to a locally hosted instance of Llama2. The financial dynamics shift dramatically. After the initial investment in a dedicated workstation to run the model, the recurring software costs drop to zero. The firm achieves infinite generation capacity without token limits, translating to thousands of dollars in annual cost savings. The initial hardware investment pays for itself within the first 2 quarters of operation. Beyond basic text generation, small businesses increasingly rely on these tools for complex data analysis and workflow automation. Achieving this requires API integration, a method allowing distinct software applications to communicate and share data seamlessly in the background by connecting an AI model directly to a customer relationship management platform or an inventory database. Businesses can automate insights and reporting without manual data entry. In the realm of automated data pipelines, the commercial solutions maintain a distinct advantage in ease of use. Their integration protocols are heavily documented, standardized, supported by massive server farms that guarantee uptime and speed. Conversely, building an integration with an open-source model requires custom scripting to handle the data formatting, request queuing, and error management. The free route offers ultimate flexibility, but demands significant development hours to establish a reliable connection. Yet, routing operational data through commercial servers introduces a severe vulnerability regarding corporate privacy. When a company uploads proprietary financial records, client lists, or unreleased product designs into a public enterprise model, they are transmitting sensitive intelligence to a third-party entity. Even with standard privacy agreements, the risk of data leakage, unauthorized model training, or external breaches remains a critical concern for organizations handling regulated or highly confidential information. This security vulnerability is where the open-source paradigm secures its most definitive victory. Running a model locally on internal servers guarantees absolute data sovereignty. The information never leaves the company network, ensuring compliance with strict privacy regulations and protecting proprietary strategies from external exposure. For legal firms, healthcare providers, or financial advisors, this localized control is not just a driver of cost savings, it is a mandatory operational requirement. Recognizing these distinct advantages leads many savvy operators toward a strategic hybrid approach. Instead of forcing a rigid choice between the two extremes, businesses can deploy commercial solutions for low-risk, general-purpose tasks like drafting emails or summarizing public articles. Simultaneously, they can maintain a secure, localized, open-source model, specifically sandboxed for analyzing sensitive internal metrics or processing confidential client documents, optimizing both convenience and security. Executing this hybrid strategy requires a brutally honest assessment of internal capabilities. Leadership must audit their team to determine if they possess the necessary coding proficiency to manage local deployments, or if they have the budget to hire external consultants for the setup phase. If the technical bandwidth is zero, forcing an open-source adoption will inevitably result in lost productivity and a failed implementation, negating any potential financial benefits. This brings the evaluation to the concept of total cost of ownership over a multi-year timeline. The upfront price tag of $0 for a downloaded model is dangerously misleading. While enterprise solutions present a clear, predictable monthly expense, the free alternative hides its costs in different ledger categories. You are trading a transparent software subscription for variable expenses in hardware depreciation, electricity, and the highly compensated time of technical staff. Industry research consistently reveals that for teams lacking dedicated technical personnel, the hidden expenses of open-source adoption often surpass the cost of simply paying for a premium license. The hours spent troubleshooting a broken environment or optimizing a slow model are hours diverted from core revenue-generating activities. The true cost of free software is the operational friction it introduces into an organization that is not equipped to handle it. Ultimately, this showdown does not yield a universal victor, but rather a clear framework for decision-making. Enterprise solutions are the optimal choice for organizations prioritizing speed, reliability, and frictionless deployment, provided they can absorb the recurring costs and accept the data privacy trade-offs. Open-source models represent the superior path for businesses requiring deep customization, strict data sovereignty, and the elimination of ongoing subscription fees, provided they possess the technical fortitude to manage the infrastructure. Small businesses must map their specific operational maturity to the right technological ecosystem. Begin by identifying the most expensive bottlenecks in your current workflow. Whether they involve content creation, data analysis, or customer support, calculate the exact cost of solving that problem with a commercial license versus the hardware and labor required for a local deployment. Only through this rigorous, data-driven analysis can you integrate artificial intelligence in a way that truly accelerates growth.